In this video, I want to speak about deception. 2018 adds up to the number 11. That one on top of one deals with deception. This year is all about deception. Not only that, it's all about things being revealed and things being brought to the surface. So, my recent experience with two different spiritual individuals is me experiencing what you can say is spiritual deception. So spiritual individuals that's dealing with a certain spiritual momentum but still dealing with a deceptive nature or deceptive ways. And it's a time and it's a place for everything, but you have an obligation to yourself first and foremost to make sure that you are living accordingly to your principles, your values, and your laws. And when you have those rules, you stay living within these certain particular boundaries. So anything outside of that boundary is inconsistent with your higher path or your higher calling, if your higher calling consists within these boundaries. So sometimes those boundaries aren't in place within certain spiritual individuals' daily routine or their mentality, in other words. So therefore they may present a tactic, a business opportunity, or anything of that nature, but it may be secretly deception behind it all. So you have to make sure that you're able to feel and to sense what the spirit or the spirit realm is trying to show you through this person speaking, because it's always two messages that's taking place. It's the physical human message that's coming from the person. Don't attempt to make logic of it. Don't it may sound logical. It's the human message that's coming from the person, but then you have the spiritual, godly, the divinely inspired message that's flowing through the person. And you can look at what they're saying, or you can look at what the universe is saying through that person. And that's the same thing with, you can, from a human way of thinking, logically analyze something that's spiritual, and that can kind of encourage you to have a disbelief of spirituality actually existing, because you're trying to rationalize spirituality. But you must make sure that you trust in the unseen, and that you don't try to make sense of it, that you trust in your heart, because the brain thinks but the heart knows. And you want to see things with your spiritual lens, and you must seek the spiritual message that's flowing through. So always be aware of spiritual deception. 2018, 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 represents deception this year. It also represents a lot of spiritual achievement in the aspect of boldness, which represents the energy of the one, which represents boldness, self-confidence, self-reliance. So a lot of people are going to be becoming more self-reliant this year, more bosses, more independent, and a lot of people are going to be becoming more assertive, speaking their truth and being more blunt. And that's what it's all about, being straightforward and never indirect, but direct and truthful, and make everything simple. Because when a person is indirect, they're being complicated, they're being deceitful, they're being devious, and they're not being fully true to themselves, because we have a obligation to ourselves to be true to ourselves and to be true to our principles and our values. So when I walk away from a conversation, I have to make sure that I'm true to me, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, I have to make sure that I'm being true to who I am.